Hello, Sunshines. Right here. This painting took me a little bit over 8 hours to complete, and today I just wanted to share a little bit about my art process with you. Alright, so starting out, I knew that this piece would be rather a simpler one, so I decided to just ditch the sketching process altogether and jump straight into painting, starting with colors. And actually, I would recommend this approach to everyone if you haven't tried it yet. It's it's surprisingly simple and straightforward. I mean, even though you have to balance a lot of things at once, I feel like it's good to practice it sometimes, especially on simpler pieces. Well, I definitely wouldn't try it with something more complex that would involve like perspective and stuff. But for a single character piece like this, I think it might work. Um, as for the pose and the character itself, I really didn't use any references at the beginning. I just wanted to kind of see where my imagination might take me with this one, and you can definitely see me, trying a few different hand positions and um, placing of the legs. But I think I later on at this I came to a good pose that I liked. For the anatomy on the abs and stuff, I really as well had no reference at first. I think I pulled up a reference later in the piece, but I think it's good to sometimes start out with no references and only resort to them when you actually need them, rather than just copy a picture. Um, so yeah, that's been my approach lately for like a year or so. I think it's been helpful. As for the rest of this piece, well, you can definitely see me trying to go for this like underglow effect, and I've been really enjoying those lately. I think it can bring a lot of life to a piece where usually it would have been a little bit on more boring side, you know. Like definitely a character like this might benefit from this glow effect a lot. You can also see me like starting to do some ambient light, which I'm thinking like coming from the top, from presumably like a moonlight or something. You can see me also doing smoke in the background, which is also going to be like another kind of not a focal point of the piece, but definitely a good selling point for this art. Whenever I'm thinking about like those glow effect and smoke, I'm also thinking that a piece has to be worth looking at. Like it has to be interesting, just just from the visual standpoint. And I often try to add like smoke or another graphical element to the background or the foreground sometimes, just to make as I said, the piece more interesting to look at. Yeah, other than that, you can just my process almost from the beginning it was like working from bigger shape to smaller details, and now it's just rendering like going over um, certain parts over and over again with more details, kind of working on on the whole piece at once, tackling the background, the character itself, like pushing the light more, pushing um, the depth. You can definitely see me adding some highlights, some more emphasis on that ambient light coming from the top, some rim light behind the character. As for the background though, I definitely had no plans for it to begin with. My plan was just to focus on the character itself and take this painting more as of an easy one. And definitely, yeah, for the background, I went with a darker one. This is something that I really enjoy playing with lately. It's kind of light character on darker background, which is an unusual value composition. Um, because I don't know if you look at most art, most character art that's been done, it's almost always darker character on the lighter background. Even here though, you can see the elements of like smoke being lighter to make the character pop, but yeah, trying to go for the opposite with darker background and lighter character is definitely an interesting valid composition decision to make. I would say if you want to try it, just go for it. It's always fun. Um, Kind of makes you think in different ways when it comes to creating contrast in the piece and stuff. For the smoke in the background, well, you can see me like playing around with it here and then, but also like I don't just work on it until it's done. Um, I just like work on the whole piece overall, just progress here and there. This is like probably right about time where I took a break and then came back to the piece. So you can see me going over everything again, changing the hand position and um, adjusting some other features. I recommend always take a break from the painting, from painting you're working on. Definitely just at least one big break. As much as I would like want and like myself to be able to finish a piece within a day, I just find it so beneficial to take a break, to even like take a break overnight, sleep on a piece, and come back next morning with fresh eyes and just finish it off. Sometimes I even leave my pieces up for like a week while them being like 99% done, just so I can come back every morning with it refreshed, my refreshed eyes and just go over everything once again, push more details, push more contrast and stuff. Like here as well, you can see me just darkening some parts and lighting up the others, really pushing this underglow idea to light. And a little bit about this effect. I'm still kind of new to doing it, but from what I've was able to observe, it's kind of um, it relies on you to basically do reverse on light and shadow. So you can see the darkest shadow that are supposed to be on his chest, on his abs, and like in the armpit. You lighten those up instead, and the parts that would usually catch more light, you darken them up more. And usually an outline works pretty well for selling this effect as well. So yeah, you can see me here refining the background a bit more, working on smoke. Which for the smoke, I really found that just not worrying about the color, the light much, but just working on a single shape. You can see like the definition of shapes, they're really like well defined. They are not really gradually transitioning from one to another. They are really just done with hard edges. And that I think helps to sell it a lot. Like the graphical look of the smoke. As long as the shape appealing, like it will work. The rest doesn't really matter. Throughout this painting you can also see me forming those geometrical looking shapes, and this is something that I've been enjoying doing lately, just taking a shape of light and forming a rectangle or a square out of it. It just adds more depth to the painting, I feel like, and just definitely adds a lot more interest to my work process. I'm just looking forward to defining those shapes here and there. It's like a mini game within your art process. I definitely would recommend for you guys to find those little things that you find enjoyable. It will definitely contribute to you being just more excited about doing art and enjoying the process itself more, which in my opinion is one of, if not the most important part about being productive at doing art. This is pretty much all that I wanted to share as a commentary for this piece. Yeah, thanks for watching and take care, sunshines. Happy painting!